Hello everyone, this is Sean Perrick from Entigrity. In today's video, I'm going to give you 6 quick tips on how to interview offshore staff. Well, interviewing people whether onshore and offshore is pretty similar, but when you specifically interview offshore staff for your accounting firm, there are some differences that you should keep in mind. And I'm going to give you 6 quick tips. You can consider this while you interview offshore staff or while building offshore team. We often work with accounting firms and we come across situations where they are under some kind of confusion or anxiety or dilemma that how should I make the right choice? What questions we should I should ask. So this is where we thought that let's just make this video and give that quick tips for you to kind of think through and consider. So the first one is we often get this question: how many candidates should I interview and how many times should I interview them? So I would say at least 3 to 5 candidates you should be interviewing, not more, because our recruitment team already kind of filters candidate for you. So there is already one level of filter which has been implemented. Also, we are specialized in staffing for accounting firms. So our level of understanding your need is much higher compared to any other ordinary staffing company. So that's where we already have that strict relevant filters in place. Coming to how many times you should interview, we tell at least you should be interviewing 2 times. First time you interview 5 to 6 candidates. Thereafter, you interview probably 2 or 3 of them, and then have in-depth interaction with them, get to know them. What are their, hobbies, their motivation to work, understanding the soft skills, their attitude. So, having that in-depth analysis of the person who's going to work with you is very, very important. So, to summarize, 5 to 6 interviews, and then at least 2 times interview the candidates that you're trying to select. Second tip is, the communication skills. The English being the second language in India, make sure that if you don't comprehend what they're trying to say, tell them to be a little slow. Sometimes they get nervous or they get anxious. They start speaking fast or they fumble. Tell them to cool down and tell them to speak slowly, and tell them to repeat themselves if you're not able to comprehend them, and they'll be more careful while they're speaking. So this has been feedback from many firms, and we tell them make sure you do that. The third thing is evaluation of the communication skills required for the role. So we staff for 2 roles specifically: accounting role and non-accounting roles. In non-accounting role, whether it is virtual assistant or whether it is customer service associate or whether it is digital marketing assistant or client service executive or an admin executive, whatever you're looking at, I think communication skills are super important. You need somebody who is really great communicator, who know how to communicate in US or UK or Canadian accent, whatever country accent is required. So it is very, very important there because they are in client facing role, and we need to make sure that they have prior experience of dealing with those countries' client, US, Canada, or UK clients. In non-accounting role, what is more important is the technical competency and approach towards work. Of course, they need a good communication skills, but those communication skills are good enough. I mean, they are good as long as they can communicate within the team, or communicate over email or chat with clients. So they don't need to communicate face to face or over Zoom with clients. So in non-accounting role, if the role requires you to just communicate within the team or emails, you can, and they are good at technical skills and competency. Don't look for super excellent communication skills. Typically, accounting role candidates doesn't have training on US accent, that high level communication skills, which typically non-accounting role candidates would have. So one recommendation: segregate these 2 roles and hire people, different set of people for these 2 roles. That's also one recommendation. The fourth tip would be make them comfortable. So it is very, very important you make them comfortable, because what we have observed is offshore staff members sometimes come with inherent fear and anxiety whenever they deal with overseas clients, especially in the accounting domain. where you often tell accountants are introvert. They're introverts globally. So make them comfortable. Ask them questions which are personal, like hobbies and what do you what do you do outside of your work, and then about their college life. So those things make them comfortable. Encourage them to ask questions. Tell them that this is not like interview kind of a thing. It is a normal exchange where we can get to know each other, understand a little bit about what we can do, what we are doing, and what you guys can do and help. So make that as comfortable as possible. And apart from that, make sure you implement testing in. So this is the fifth tip. So implementing skill test is super important because that's where you evaluate the technical competency of the role. We have our test that we have implemented, but we always want you should design your own skill test to implement, whether it is communication, soft skills, or technical test of tax, audit, accounting, whatever it is. So make sure you do that. Our recruitment team would facilitate and help you implement tests. Just one request: make sure those tests does not exceed more than two hours of the time, because when they come for these interviews, they need to go back to their regular work. So if it is up to 2 hours of test, I think it would be easy and you'll be able to evaluate what they have done, how they have done. So that's important tip. And sixth, and the last tip is prior experience of working in accounting industry or accounting firm or an outsourcing accounts outsourcing industry. Yeah. Why it is important? Well, they'll be able to get into the skin of the role real quick. You don't have to train and retrain them again and again, especially for the accounting role. So make sure you hire someone who has the technical knowledge and technical understanding. So these were the 6 quick tips while you interview offshore staff. I hope it was insightful or it was valuable to you. Please provide us your feedback, and then we'll be surely coming up with more videos and content that is relevant for our clients and other accounting firms. Thank you.